Now to look at some angles inside and outside of the circle questions and examples. I do need to pay attention to, is the angle inside or is it outside of the circle? Because that's going to change which formula am I going to use. Am I going to use the addition formula or am I going to use the one that involves subtraction? So this first question over here on the left, they give me my two angles, nice and pretty, okay? Is my angle inside or outside the circle? It is outside of the circle. So because of that, I know that I'm going to use the formula that involves subtraction. So I'm going to take my big arc, 100, subtract my small arc from it, divided by 2 equals x. And at this point, I can work everything down. Okay, so 100 minus 30 is going to equal 70 over 2 equals x. Divide that by 2, and I will get 35 degrees equaling x. Not too crazy. Down here, we have an inside the circle angle. That's actually BEA is our inside the angle circle that they give us to be 100 degrees. We're trying to solve for what is CD. They do give me 88, so I've got all my pieces, but what I'm solving for is over here. This one's a little bit different. We're still going to use our formula. So the inside the angle formula says I'm going to take my 88, one of my arcs. I'm going to add, because I'm inside, to my other arc, which in this case is x, over 2, and that's going to equal my angle, which is 100. Okay, this is not how the other example was on the inside angles inside of the circle tab or slide. However, we can still work this out. Now we just have to do some algebra to make this work. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 2 to get 88 plus x equals 200, because I'm ultimately trying to get x by itself. X is in my numerator, so I can't do anything other than get rid of my denominator. And now at this point, I have my x that I'm trying to get by itself. So I'm going to subtract 88 from both sides. Therefore, x is going to equal 112 degrees, and x equals the measure of arc CD. Okay, so we're good there. Big thing, make sure you identify, is it inside or outside? In this case, we're also outside. So I know that I'm going to use my subtraction version of the formula. And this hint says think about the degrees around the circle. Because, and the reason for that, I'm looking for this angle, okay? They give me 115. Because I have, and I can tell there are two tangent lines here, I need to figure out what this big arc is. Now, in order for me to do that, I need to think about the number of degrees around a circle, which is in fact 360 degrees. So if I take 360 and I subtract 115, then I'm left with my missing piece, my missing arc at 245. Now I can plug into my subtraction formula. 245 minus 115 equals x. So I can take 245, subtract 115 from it to get 130 over 2 equals x. Divide that by 2. 65 degrees equals x. And then this last question, very similar, okay? But I've got to do some other things here before I can get there. So the hint says, think about central and ascribed angles and their relationship with their intercepted arc. Well, I have a central angle here. If I recall, the central angle measure is going to be the same as its intercepted arc. So this arc is going to be 120. I have 114 and 45, which means this missing piece is going to be 360 equals, because there are 360 degrees in a circle, we have 114 plus 45 plus 120 plus x. So if I take 114, we'll just do 360 minus 114 minus 45 minus 120. That should give us x, which is 81 degrees. And once we figure that out, now I can recall, or I can use the fact that x is outside the circle to write my subtraction version of the formula. We're going to take our big arc, which is 120. We're going to subtract our small arc, which is 81. And that is going to equal x, our angle on the outside of the circle. 120 minus 81 equals 39. 39 divided by 2 is going to give us 19.5 degrees, which is in fact what x equals.